Hello, my gorgeous friends on the internet. How you're doing? Okay, so today we are going to be looking at something amazing, and today's topic is about Flutter local notification. So I believe most of you don't really know how to send local notification in your Flutter application. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do one. Okay, so this is the plugin we are going to be using, Flutter local notification. So as you can see here, it supports 4 platforms. It supports Android, iOS, Linux, and Mac OS. So I believe maybe in the next update it will support web and Windows. But for now, it only supports these 4 operating systems. What I'm going to do, first thing first, we need to depend on it. So I want to believe you already created your Flutter project. Okay, then we're going to copy this Flutter pub add dependency, and we're going to go over to VS Code. Okay, bring up the terminal and paste this stuff to be added into our prospect, into our prospect.yml file. Okay, let's see. Alright, so it has been added, Flutter local notification. So in order to use this stuff, what we need to do is just to set up some Android settings and iOS settings to be able to use it. So for this notification, what I will do, I will send the notification whenever I click. So whenever I click on a button, as you can see here, this is just a simple Flutter counter application. So once you create any counter app, you get this stuff. Okay, so what I want to do now, inside this increment counter, what it will do is just to call send notification. Okay, so that is going to be the function send notification. Okay, so that will be the function name. So what I'll do, I'll go up here and change this stuff to from increment counter to send notification, and we can get rid of this set state. Okay, so I hope this is not confusing you, because as you can see here, just a normal Flutter application. Okay, a normal Flutter counter application. So there is nothing really going on here. This is just a floating action button, and when we click on it, it's going to trigger the notification in our device. So if you look over this Flutter local notification, now you realize that it sends for the 4 platforms, and you can see how it displays for Android, and the title, the body of the notification, and then maybe your app icon and your app name. And it also displays same thing for iOS too, and then for Linux, this is how it displays. And then for plain text body main. So I don't know, maybe I'll be testing this in 2 devices, because currently I'm running my device on Linux. So maybe I'll test to see. I've not tried it on Linux, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will test for Android and also for Linux. Okay, but I believe this same method is still going to work for iOS, and it's going to work for Mac OS as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's go down a little bit. So for Android, I don't think you really need to set anything, so just add a dependency. What I'm going to do, first thing first, is to create an instance of the Flutter local notification plugin. Okay, so you create an instance first, so I can paste that here. Okay, I can paste that here as an instance. So Flutter local notification plugin, Flutter local notification. But I don't know if we can actually use this, because it will act like a static class. Let's see if we can use it. Okay, we can actually use it here. Awesome. So what I'll do, after creating the instance, the next thing I'm going to do is to initialize the settings for the various platforms we are going to be using. So if you go back to here now, you see we have the Android initialization setting, and with this where you set the app icon. I actually faced some issues while trying to add this app icon, and it took me to some times to debug. So what I will do, I will just copy it this way to see if the issue is going to show, and then I will show you guys how to solve that issue. Alright, so in the meantime, let's say we have iOS. Okay, you want to send for iOS as well. You also want to send for Mac OS. Then you can initialize. I don't think you can initialize for Android. I don't think we can initialize this for Linux. I don't know, because I've not tried it. So what I will do, I'll just set the settings for various platforms. Just going to register them. Okay, and then we can paste it. Don't worry about this error, just this one first, Android initialization setting, and we pass the Android app icon that will be displayed whenever we send the notification. And the last time I tried this, I got a no pointer exception, but let's see if we are still going to get that error again. And this one is for iOS, and this one is not really needed, so we can remove this stuff. Okay, we can remove it, and what we can do is just to set the request alert permission. We set it to true, and then we can set request batch permission. Okay, so I don't really know what this stuff does, but for iOS we can try it out to see. Then sound always true, so it's always good you set the sound to true. And I think I'm getting some errors that I don't like, so I think I can make this stuff to be a constant. Is that the place? Prefer, okay, let's say constant. Alright, okay, that solved those issues. And now we can have the Mac OS. So if you're working for Mac OS, but since we are not using Mac OS, I think there's no need, but you can add it for your own sake. If you're using Mac, so then for Mac, yeah, you can pass the initialization setting for Mac here. So I don't think we're using Mac, and we can make this one constant. And let me see if there's any other further stuff. Okay, we have the Linux too, so I think I need to register for the Linux as well. Okay, let me go back a little bit. So I will change this one. Instead of Mac OS, it will be Linux initialization setting. Then we can pass this stuff here, copy it, and instead of Mac OS we pass this one here and change this one to Linux. Alright, and we can also change this to a constant. Alright, and await, and that means if you're using await, that means we need to make this function to be asynchronous. Okay, so by adding a sync there, so Flutter notification plugin, then initialize. This is where we're going to initialize the Flutter notification. Okay, we can get rid of this, it's not needed, and format it. Alright, so you're seeing what we have done. We have registered the Android settings, Android, iOS, Linux, and then we initialize the package. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do now is to set it up for Android. Okay, because we need to set the Android notification channel, and which carries the ID and the title of the notification. So we are more like registering the channel to your Android device, so that it can be triggered automatically for us whenever we click on the Android notification channel. And I'm going to call the name to be channel, and then we can have initialize it to Android notification channel. Then it has the name, so the name can just be hi channel whatever, and then the ID, and then the name, which is actually the title, we can call it high importance notification. Okay, secondly, we can set the description. This is not really necessary, but you can add it. So this channel is used for important notification. Yeah, this channel is used for important. Don't worry, this is not the notification that the users are going to see whenever you send it, so it's just more like we registering the channel. Okay, then we can set the importance level, and that will come from importance dot, so you can set it to high, low, max. So let's just go with maximum. You can change it to whichever one you want. Okay, so I think that will be good. We can make this a constant too. Alright, so we have successfully created a channel for the notification. And then next thing we are going to do now is actually to send the notification, right? Yeah, I think it's to send the notification. So what we need to do first and first is to get is to call the Flutter notification plugin. So we have already created the instance here. So this Flutter notification plugin will help us to trigger the notification and show it to the users. So we can say Flutter local notification plugin, and you can see that's the name. Then you can say .show. So this is more like you want to show the notification, and if you want to set it periodically show, you can set it periodically show, and you can see it has a repeat interval, maybe every minute you want it to be calling every minute. And you have the body, the title, the payload, allow, sleep. I think we are going to test this stuff later, but for now we are working with show because I want to show it whenever we click on the button once. Then the ID, I normally set it to 0 because it's more like an integer, so just leave it to 0. Then the title, what exactly do you want to send? and we need to make this stuff to be a little bit dynamic. So I can say the string to be title, and here the body. Okay, so I want to make it dynamic. Okay, so you can set the title and the body, and then the notification details. Basically what we have to do is just to call the Android notification details. Is just going to be more like having notification details. Okay, and then we have the Android. So from the Android we can call the Android notification details there again. Okay, then the channel ID, we get it from, remember we already created this channel, so we get it from the channel ID, channel.id, and the name is going to come from channel.name, like so. And then I think that is all, and we can have the channel description if you want. Then it's going to come from channel.description as well. And yeah, so we can close that. Okay, so I think we also have another thing to work on, notification details. Okay, we can set it for Linux too. You can actually set for iOS, you can set for Mac OS if you want. Sorry, so I've not really tried this stuff, but let's just test for Android first. So what is happening here? First thing first, we created the instance of the local notification. You can see you can just put this stuff in one function or one class and call it whenever you want to send any notification to users. And then we have the constant, and that carries the app icon, and we register the settings of the iOS, the Linux, and then we initialize the settings here. Okay, and then lastly we created a channel for the notification, for Android notification, and then we use the instance we created, which was this Flutter local notification plugin, to show the notification with the title, the ID0, title, body, and the notification channels. Okay, so I think that is all. So what we have to do now, whenever we click on this button, we want to send the notification. So since this stuff is having a parameter, okay, we cannot call it directly. So what I'm going to do, I'll use a block function like so, and call what's the name again? Let's say send notification. So here we can pass the title of the notification, hello world, and then the body, which is my first Flutter notification. So I'm expecting errors on this. I'm actually expecting some errors, but we are going to try that right now. So what I'll do, I'm going to build this app right now. Remember, I've already added everything that is required. We didn't really go to the prospect.html file to add anything, so it just saw the whole process. So I'm going to run this application. Let me build it on my device. Okay, a few minutes for it to build. Okay everyone, the app is running and you can see the button. Okay, let me comment this stuff for now. Let's be sure that the button is actually working by printing out something. Okay, first of all, let me print out something to be sure that the button is working. Alright, so it's printing out hello. What the hell? I thought I spelled hello. Okay, and let's click. Okay, hello. Yeah, so we can change this stuff now back to its initial stage, save it. So let's click and see. Alright, so this is actually the error that I was talking about. Okay, this one is a little bit different from the one I experienced, because that one was more like it filled the whole screen and it was showing this null pointer exception, null pointer exception, and stuff like that. But this one is still similar. I think platform exception, invalid icon. And when I did some deep research, I now realized that the issue was actually coming from the icon. So the Android notification plugin was not seeing my image, like my app icon. It was not seeing it. So what I had to do was to, okay, let me just clean all this stuff. Yeah, you can see the resource I could not be found, so it cannot really find it. Even if you get down and null pointer exception, the one I was talking about, I don't know, maybe you might get the same error. But in case you have something like that, this method I'm going to show you now is actually the method to solve it. So if you go over here now, you can see we set this app icon, but this is not a part, but that's what they told us to do here. when you go to the plugin, that's what they ask us to do from their usage. You can see they actually set the app icon, but it's not the best way. Even if you go to yeah, even if you go to Firebase, there's a tutorial where they showed how to show the icon. So they did their own this way still, and I was getting that error, those errors. So it's not what we need. So what I did was to go over to my Android and scroll down to your source. Basically, I'm searching for my manifest file. Okay, so you should know where it is, Android manifest. So you can see the way Android manifest gets our icon and shows it. Okay, whenever we launch our app, like an app icon. So what I'll do, I'll copy this part, because if this part can find it, then basically the Flutter local notification is also going to find it. So I'll take the app mip map. This is basically, if you go to source and you go to mip map and click here, you see this is actually your icons, where you set your icons for your Flutter application. Okay, yeah, this is it. So the way I do my own, I just copy all my icon and replace it with each of these ones inside their respective folder. So that's where it's going to search this stuff for us. So I've copied that from the manifest, and I will go here now, and instead of this, I'm going to replace it with this. Okay, at mipmap. So it's going to go to the mipmap file and search for any image or PNG file that has this ic.launcher and display it. Alright, so what I'll do, I'll do a hot restart, and then we'll try it again. So hopefully this notification is going to go through. Okay, hot restart done. Let's click and see. Alright, you saw that. You can see if we scroll down now a little bit, you see the notification. Okay, and yeah, my first Flutter notification. Hello world. So that's it. And yeah, you can change the text. You can send them as many as you want. So let's say we send yeah, something like this. You can actually call this function whenever an event occurs in your application. Okay, let's say user clicks on a button. What you just need to do, you call send notification and then pass in your title and your body. This notification can be stored in a separate class, separate file, where you can call it. So let's say we create a separate notification file here to just separate it from our main.dat notification.dat. Okay, so what you do, you just go to your main. Remember, it's just a function I created, so you can just copy the stuff and separate it from here. Yeah, so good, and paste it here. And you will really need to import all the stuff, so we can go up here and copy this stuff. Okay, go back to notification, paste it there. Alright, so now what we need to do, import this one. Whenever we want to use it, just import it. Wherever you want to use it, import it. And yeah, you can do a hot restart to make sure that everything is connected. So once you do that, we click on this again, you see the notification will be triggered for us. And what it does, I think, is going to replace the other one, I believe. Yeah, it replaced it with the new notification. So we have the my first Flutter notification, hello world, and that's it. So you can see it's working. If you click on it, it opens your app, so there's not much thing, and it clears the other one automatically for you. So you can try out let's say .show. You can try out if you want to show the intervals on, so you can just go here and click. So I will leave that one as a task for you guys to do. So you can click interval. You can cancel, or you can see so many things you can work in. So periodically show, where you pass your ID, which is this ID. The repeat interval is more like, okay, the repeat interval, you can just type repeat interval dot daily, so it will handle it for you, hourly, weekly, every minute. It's just going to handle it for you. Okay, so that's something you can just experiment with. And yeah, that's it. So my other thing was to test it on Linux. So let's see how it runs on Linux. I'm going to change this stuff to Linux. Okay, guess I'll try running this from the terminal to see. So just so Flutter run -d Linux. Okay, let's run it through the terminal. Alright, so our Linux application is up, And for most of you that have not built any application on desktop before, where you can see one code base, different platform, here is where it works. So you can see now we can test this stuff to see if it's going to print. So increments, you can see when we hover, it's actually showing the tooltip. So if you go here, you can see we actually created a tooltip here. Yeah, a tooltip. You can change it to notification. Okay, save that and go back. You see it's going to change also to, oops, okay, I think we need to do some hot restart. How do we do hot restart on this? Okay, shift arrow. Okay, hot restart, shift arrow. Okay, and let's go back and see. You can see notification. So let's click. I want to see if the notification is going to come. Whoa, it came through, but it didn't show the icon. That is because we didn't set the notification icon here. So you can check it out to see how to set notification icon for Linux. Alright, click again, you see the notification. Awesome. So this thing is working for Linux and is working for Android. So I believe it's going to work for iOS and for Mac OS as well. So guys, in my next tutorial, I'm thinking about creating, you know, I've already created Firebase push notification before, but this time, remember the last one we created, the user, once the app is open, you don't receive the notification, right? Yeah, so I want to create another tutorial whereby if the app is open and the notification comes, you know, normally push notification won't show it to you. So we are going to use local notification to trigger that notification and show it to the user. The way push notification works, if you are not currently interacting with the application, the notification will come. Yeah, but if you are interacting with the application, the notification is not going to come. So in my next tutorial, I want to see if it's something I'm going to do to show the notification even while you're interacting with the application. So if you want to see a tutorial on that, let's say hi on the comment section below, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you guys, and do not forget to subscribe, very important.